Last episode we talked about the Royal Bermuda Club cocktail, and it's such a fine cocktail that in our minds at least it's one that really travels well. So we want to talk about traveling cocktails because they're a fine way to introduce yourself to people who might become friends, but they're also a good way to gather with old friends. One of the things I've discovered, by the way, is that when somebody invites you to dinner, instead of having to take a salad or a dessert, you can just take a cocktail. So here's how we handle the Royal Bermuda Club cocktail as a traveling cocktail. First, remember last time we used 1 ounce, 1 ounce, 1 ounce, and 2.5 ounces. Now you've got to upsize this baby. So first, think about the number of people who are going to be at the dinner. Let's just say it's 4. But keep in mind that people are going to love this cocktail, yet some are going to stay restrained. So I would normally make enough for 6 cocktails. So what you got to do is find a container to put them in. A cheap one is fine, or you can use one of those expensive Yeti ones to keep it cold, whatever you want to do. And then you got to find a way to mix it, because you don't want to keep pouring jigger after jigger after jigger here. So what I use is just a measuring cup. Now remember, we use 1 ounce of this. Well, let's say we're going to make 6 cocktails, so you just pour this until you reach the 6 ounce mark, which is about 2/3 of a cup, and empty it in here. And 1 ounce of falernum, goes to 6 ounces of falernum. Ounce of curacao becomes 6 ounces of curacao, and 2.5 ounces become 15 ounces. And remember, we used 1 versus 1.5 of those. So I'm going to let you do the math of that. I'm not going to do that off the top of my head. Once you've got them all mixed in here, you can shake it a little bit. And what I do is put it in the freezer until it's time to go. When it's time to go, then it's time to pack up. So, do we have we have an ice chest. Here's our professional bartender, Alex, and we're just going to load it up. Now, what you want to do at least is take the ingredients that people probably haven't heard of and be prepared to say a few words about velvet falernum and why it's an important ingredient to have in a home bar. This particular dry orange curacao is an essential ingredient in a home bar. You know, most people have heard of Gosling's rum, and it's pretty heavy. You know, Al's not that strong, so we'll just leave that behind. But maybe the 151 proof rum, because they probably haven't heard of that one. Then you got to take a couple of other things. You don't have to take the lime juice. Take your shaker, your jigger. And the reason for the jigger, this is important, is as you get ready to make the drinks, you want to measure the number of ounces that's appropriate for a single drink. So remember, it's 1 of falernum, 1 of dry orange curacao, and 2.5 ounces of rum. So that becomes each cocktail is 5.5 ounces. So 2, 4, 5.5 ounces in the shaker, with some ice that you should bring along, because you can't rely on people to have ice that you approve of. Shake it up, pour it into whatever glass they've got. You can, by the way, make this cocktail with ice in the glass using the ice that's in the shaker, or you can, take your strainer along, and if they have good, if you know it's going to be good and cold, you can strain it and make it a cocktail that's up. Either is perfectly fine. So, and then close that baby up. Off you go. And I promise you, the next time that you visit that particular home, or maybe grand yacht, the owners are going to ask you to bring another cocktail rather than dessert cocktails.